Tonight, and we're going to be talking about different types of boating materials for fishing and their purpose, and a number of other areas on the gear. So welcome, Joe, to the community again.
Thank you, Dave.
Joe, why don't you tell us a little bit about what we're looking at right here?
We're looking at it's a drift boat. It's a Mackenzie River style drift boat, and the uniqueness of this is it's wood. It's not the aluminum, it's not fiberglass. It's handcrafted from Missoula, Montana Boat Crafters, and I got it kind of through a friend that knew a friend that was moving to Florida. So it's quiet. It's the boat that you want to have two fishermen, one in the front, one in the back, and then you have your oarsman. And the concept is that you've got the guide, and the guy in the front has the best opportunity because he's going to be in the front of the boat, front of the hole. The guy in the back still has a second chance, and sometimes the guy in the back will do just as well, if not better, than the guy in the front. It's meant to be stable. It has areas for your legs, so you can stand up even in white water, doing your casting. There are people that do use these spinning, but I don't see very many of them. Usually this is what fly fishermen's Cadillac when it comes to river fishing and some boat fishing, or some lake fishing. I use this quite a bit in the summertime. Boat or lake fishing, so I can have, you know, two people and more space. I don't use this by myself on the river because it just, you know, you'll see my reason why. But for one or two people, best for two, you'll have just the time of your life. You can literally stop this in some fairly quick water when you're by holes, so that people can fish the holes better. So it's a really nice vessel for fly fishing in rivers. Okay,
so Joe, why don't we look on the inside of the boat and tell us a little bit about the setup here.
Basically, you've got your three seats, your oars. I carry this blue container here for life jackets and miscellaneous. I do have on the base of my floor a mat so it doesn't get slippery. Truly, it's a quiet, beautiful boat. And it's easy, very, very easy to manipulate because it only takes this much water, and you can go, you know, I mean, you can turn on a dime literally with this particular type of a boat.
So usually what we'll see is three people in the boat, possibly a guide in the middle using the oars, and fishermen at both ends.
Correct.
And the guide will be sitting in the middle with the oars, as I said.
Right here, and the guide, many times has to be the person that has more attention than the fisherman, because the fishermen, I mean, they're locked on that hole where the guide could be looking over, right, left, behind, seeing where the fish are actively hitting the surface, and he'll tell the person in front, you've got fish that are feeding ahead of you, you know, let's go ahead of you. Or the person in the back, you know, he might be, you know, not paying attention, and the person that is the oarsman, the guide, has that opportunity to be looking at other places. He might want to go to the other side of the river because he's seeing more activity, or he's the person that might know the river better than the fishermen themselves, and he will take them to a particular seam in the river where the fish are more congregated, or he might know a hole or sit behind a rock. You know, the more you're on the river, the more you understand where fish usually reside, or you start reading about it, and then you verify what you've read. This is where they really are. You can't always see the deep pockets until you've been over them a couple of times. So you start remembering, whoa, that was a good spot. I should spend some time there.
And Joe, what is the significance of the wood versus a metal drift boat?
Metal is heavier. It is louder when the water hits it. It's more durable. They make aluminum, they make steel, they make fiberglass. This is particularly wood. It's elegant. It's like when you have a pair of leather moccasins versus the plastic moccasins. They feel better. It's the ambience. It's the real deal. It's
so, how long will a float trip usually last on a river with a guide?
They sell them for half a day or a full day.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, and depending on the length of the river.
And will this type of boat be used on any of the like the North Fork or the Middle Fork rivers, pretty
I've
much?
seen drift boats on every section of the river, even the whitewater section on the Middle Fork.
All right.
I wouldn't take mine down the whitewater section of the river. I just have too much respect for it. I'd rather take my raft.
Right.
Because there are bigger boulders. There are some people that, I mean, you know, if I were in this every single day, you know, I would probably have a lot more confidence. But you got to read the river. I mean, every part of, you know, the springtime is heavy water, then it gets, you know, perfect, then it starts dewatering, then you don't want to take it down certain sections. You know, even rafts are the same way. There's certain, like right now, you wouldn't want to do the upper Middle Fork in a raft, even there's just not enough water.
Okay. All right. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to go off and look at some other gear that Joe's got here, other boats and some gear. So, thanks, Joe.
You're welcome.